This is what it feels like to discover the greatest player of all time.
How old was he when you first came?
17 he was.
At pace, all the way through and in.
Ronaldo and Messi, is one better than the other? Ronaldo's my boy.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo!
Everything that he said to me, he did.
I was at his house for dinner a few months ago, and his house is made for the best player in the world.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Goal! Ronaldo. Onto his left foot. Ronaldo! Oh! It is Ronaldo! Oh, what a goal!
Please welcome on stage, ladies and gentlemen, from Brazil, Pelé!
More emotion than those guys, Cristiano Ronaldo.
And the FIFA World Player 2008, Cristiano Ronaldo!
He never ever put the club in front of their family. It was a family with him.
Years ago, long before he knew what his future held, Cristiano Ronaldo was just a skinny, ambitious teenager playing for Sporting Lisbon. He had no idea he would one day become the most followed athlete on earth, that his celebration would become more iconic than those of the world's most famous musicians, that he would become the most controversial and arguably the greatest footballer in the world. But none of it would have happened without the man who believed in him first. Sir Alex Ferguson saw something in this rough, raw boy and took a chance. He turned pyrite into gold. Ronaldo's story is the kind of underdog journey that keeps you up at night. It makes you believe that with hard work and grit, anyone can rewrite their story. When you look closer, their early lives had so much in common, and that's what bonded them. Ferguson became the father figure Ronaldo never truly had, and Ronaldo became the player Ferguson could never be. But to understand that connection, we need to go back. Cristiano Ronaldo was almost never born. His mother once considered an abortion, believing she couldn't afford another child. The doctor refused, but she tried anyway, drinking warm beer, running until she collapsed. But fate had other plans. Ronaldo was born. He grew up under a tin roof in Madeira. His father was a kit man at a local club. His mother cleaned houses. There was rarely enough food, but even then, Cristiano had a hunger, both literal and metaphorical. At 7, he joined Andorinha, the club where his father worked. His speed earned him the nickname Little B. A move to CD Nacional followed, and the transfer fee? Just 20 footballs and some gear. Then came a trial with Sporting Lisbon. The player who scored the most goals would earn a spot. Ronaldo tied with his friend, who passed him the winning ball. That friend later said, "I knew he could go all the way." At 12, Ronaldo left home for Lisbon. Over 1,000 kilometers away from his family, he was bullied for his accent. Broke and homesick, he begged for burgers outside McDonald's. He trained obsessively. He raced teammates to the gym and got furious if he lost. He was expelled from school for throwing a chair at a teacher. Football was his only path forward. At 15, a heart condition nearly ended his dreams, but Sporting took a risk. He had surgery, and days later, he was back on the pitch. By 16, he had played at every level of the club, from youth to senior, in one season. He scored twice in his league debut. The world began to take notice. Barcelona rejected him, so did Liverpool. Arsenal nearly signed him, but one match changed everything. Sporting Lisbon versus Manchester United, a friendly. Ronaldo wasn't even meant to play, but with Quaresma recently sold, he stepped in and stole the show. So electric was his performance that United players begged Ferguson to sign him immediately. Mikael Silvestre later said, "No one knew his name at kickoff, but by the final whistle, everyone did." After the match, Ferguson fast-tracked negotiations with Ronaldo and agent Jorge Mendes while the rest of the squad waited on the bus. United had planned to sign him and loan him back, but Ferguson sensed something rare. He moved quickly to secure the deal before Barcelona could. Ronaldo signed for £12 million, a record fee for a teenager in England at the time. In 2003, he arrived in Manchester unable to speak English, expecting to wear his old number 28 shirt. But Ferguson had other plans. He handed the 18-year-old the iconic number 7 jersey, once worn by Best, Cantona, and Beckham. It was a statement, it was pressure, and in his debut, Ronaldo delivered. Coming off the bench against Bolton, he dazzled in just 29 minutes. So much so that George Best called it the most exciting debut he had ever seen. Even Bolton manager Sam Allardyce admitted Ronaldo changed the game, but while fans were wowed, the media wasn't sold. They mocked his stepovers and called him flashy. Defenders targeted him. Bolton's Nicky Hunt admitted trying to knock him down early. He finished the season with just 6 goals. frustrations grew, even among his teammates. Paul Scholes and Ruud van Nistelrooy were often impatient. Van Nistelrooy, in particular, berated Ronaldo in training. It created tension, and Ferguson made a choice. He protected Ronaldo, sometimes harshly.
Well, that was quite a reception to Alex.
Hi boss, I had this chance to send you a message, and I will share with everyone what you do it for me, which is it's unbelievable. I'll never forget in my life. I remember when I arrived to Manchester with 18 years old, and as I said before, many of times, you was like a father for me in the football. You give me many opportunities. You teach me many things, and I feel glad to send you this message. I remember when I was there in the club, I asked for the shirt number 28, and you give me the number 7. You put me a lot of pressure, but after you help me, you say no problem. You're gonna deserve to put this shirt in your body. I say thank you to Sir Alex Ferguson to give me this trophy. For me, it means a lot because he was the coach who, teach me many things when I was in Manchester with 18 years of age, so I appreciate it and thank you.
He was the father of football for me.
If you know Ferguson's story, you'll understand he's just as much a product of grit as Ronaldo. Shaped by failure, hardened by pressure, he knows what it feels like to be doubted. Look closely and you'll see the similarities. Like Ronaldo, Ferguson had a tough upbringing. He grew up in Govan, Glasgow, in a cramped tenement flat with no bathroom, no comfort, and no luxury. From a young age, he understood the value of hard work. At 16, he followed his father into the shipyards as an apprentice toolmaker, a job that demanded discipline and strength. But football kept calling. After long days at work, he'd lace up his boots and play with a fire few could match. He became a striker, not the most elegant, but relentless. He played for Queen's Park, St Johnstone, Dunfermline, and eventually Rangers. But it wasn't glory he found, it was humiliation. He was blamed for a cup final defeat. That pain became fuel. He retired early and began coaching East Stirlingshire, then St Mirren, where he shocked everyone by winning the league. But it was at Aberdeen that the world took notice. He shattered the Celtic Rangers' dominance and led Aberdeen to a stunning European Cup Winners' Cup victory in 1983. Then came the call from Manchester United, and the rest is legend. In Ronaldo's second season, he showed improvement amid scoring 9 goals. His decision-making still frustrated teammates, but Ferguson stayed patient. United finished trophyless and criticism grew, but Ronaldo continued to develop. That season wasn't easy. He lacked consistency. Ferguson once famously screamed, "Who do you think you are?" in the dressing room, making Ronaldo cry. But he wasn't breaking him, he was shaping him. Then, in 2005, tragedy struck. Ronaldo's father passed away during international duty. Coach Luis Felipe Scolari had to break the news. Ronaldo played the next day. He later admitted, "I barely knew my father, but I keep his ashes close. I talk to them often." That same season, Van Nistelrooy insulted Ronaldo about his late father. It broke him. Ferguson had seen enough. Ruud was sold. In 2006, the World Cup made Ronaldo a villain in England. His role in Wayne Rooney's red card, followed by the infamous wink, ignited a media firestorm. But Ronaldo didn't run. He returned to United. Rooney forgave him. And what followed was history. 2007-2008, the peak. Ronaldo scored an incredible 42 goals. He won the Premier League, the Champions League, and his first Ballon d'Or. He scored in the UC final, despite missing his penalty in the shootout. It was the season that crowned him a superstar. In 2008-2009, he scored 26 goals, won another Liga title, and reached the second consecutive Champions League final, this time losing to Barcelona. His time in England was coming to a close. That summer, he transferred to Real Madrid for a then world record, and 80 million. Sir Alex once said Ronaldo was the best player he ever coached, but maybe he wasn't just talking about talent. Maybe he was talking about spirit, about fire, about the boy who reminded him of himself, about the greatest player he ever discovered.
In the early years, maybe not. In the first couple of years, didn't think he would reach those heights. But then I think after 2005-06, when he started becoming, his body just completely transformed from being quite thin and skinny to being completely different.
Thing is goal scoring. It's unbelievable to turn into like a winger who used to beat men and more often making goals rather than scoring goals, to have the goal scoring record that he's got is unbelievable.
It's vital that people recognise that you care.